If you're thinking about selling a home in Lancaster, but you're there looking at your bright red walls, pink nursery, and green ceiling paint, you could be leaving thousands of dollars on the table when it comes to selling your home. Today, I'm breaking down the paint colors you should pick when it comes to trying to sell your home faster and for more money. Now, if you're a seller who's thinking about doing some painting, what is going to be the safest color in order to maximize your return on investment? As someone who's constantly showing homes, and also I do my own flips and investments in the area, picking the right paint color is going to make a huge difference when it comes to selling the home. And what we're finding at the moment is that the overall kind of best color palette tends to be either a kind of neutral tan, light beige color, or some sort of grayish. So just gray is completely gone. It looks too cold and too harsh. Some of the top performing colors that you've probably seen on Instagram or on Pinterest are going to be Sherwin-Williams Agreeable Gray. From Benjamin Moore, you've got Edgecombe Gray. And then from Sherwin-Williams again, you've got Accessible Beige. The color I have behind me, this is actually one called Masonry Blanca, and there's a slightly darker version called Natural Linen. And then I think we have a lighter color that we use in our kind of hallways and bathrooms, and that color is Greek Villa, also by Sherwin-Williams. If your home hasn't been painted in at least the last 5 to 7 years, I would recommend going in at least painting some of those higher traffic areas, because a fresh coat of paint, especially in that first initial area when you walk into the home, people are going to feel that the home has been looked after and nice and fresh, and this can add thousands of dollars to the perceived value. Should I paint everywhere? So like I just said, I wouldn't recommend painting everywhere unless the house is in particularly bad shape. It takes a lot of time and effort if you're doing the work yourself. Should I paint everything white? So absolutely not. Try to avoid painting the entire house white. It's going to give that cold builder feel. And what we want is to encourage and invite people to come into the home for it to feel warm and welcoming. That's why I would advise going with either a light beige or a sort of grayish color. If you do want to set your heart on white, I pick areas like the kitchen, or if you've got rooms that are particularly dark, going with a white is going to help brighten up those spaces. It also works pretty nicely if you do white on the trim, as it gives a nice contrast to the wall color. What about bold or trendy colors? Now, this is where I would heed caution. Having the occasional statement wall or feature wall can be nice in certain homes. However, you are going to want to avoid going too far out of the box. I would avoid going with like dark navy in the bedrooms. Just going too dark in general can make the home feel smaller, and it doesn't photograph well. The idea is we want to have the home looking very nice for photos, so more people come through, and then when they come through your home, they're going to love the colors that you've picked. And as much as it pains me to say this, I would avoid child-themed rooms. It's going to make the room feel smaller, and it's going to signal project to potential buyers. The general rule is if you think 80% of people aren't going to tolerate that color or like it, I would remove that color from your house and paint it a different one. What colors add the most values to homes? So the big one is picking the either exterior paint color or things for the front door. So in terms of the front door colors, I'd go with either a deep navy, a charcoal, a classic black, or even a sort of deep forest green. You may go with a beige as well, but I would avoid bright reds and blues. With exterior colors, I would go with either a soft gray or a light gray. You may even go with a creamy off-white, but I would avoid bright white on its own, and I would avoid bright blues or even greens. Now, painting the exterior of your home is not going to be cheap. It might cost you somewhere between $5,000 to $15,000, depending on the size of the house. And the thing to think about is you may not get all of that money back in terms of actual additional value to the home, but what it will do is it'll help you photograph better. More people are going to come up to the front of the property and say, oh, this looks pretty nice. So you're probably going to get more buyers interested in your home, which could help you get better offers overall. Ultimately, the homes that sell the fastest and for the best money aren't necessarily super trendy. They're the ones that feel nice and clean, that people can put their own impression on over time. If you're thinking about getting your home ready to sell and thinking about doing a couple of other renovations, then click this video here to see what is the best return on investment for particular renovations. And in this video here, I break down how much you can expect to cost whilst doing those renovations.